Hello and welcome to my channel. In this Canvas Workspace video, I'm going to be working with text that you could use for reading cards or to add to journals, stickers, whatever you like. And I'm specifically going to be working with text that you draw rather than cut out. So this means that we can use a variety of fonts to create greetings, sentiments, and just words in general. So if you'd like to learn how this is all done, then stick with me and I'll show you how. I'm using the download version of Canvas Workspace, especially for the fact that it uses the fonts that are already built into my computer. If you use the online version, then you're restricted to the pre-installed fonts, or you have to use the program that will convert text that you can then import into Canvas Workspace. It's the Brother Converter, but it's a little more complicated. And so it's much easier if you work with the download version. So here, for example, if we just click on text, you'll see that it brings up the last font that I was using. So I can change that to any font that I want. And let's type the word happy here. I'm going to zoom in. Now you'll see that if you are to draw this, and to draw it, you would go over to properties and change it from cut to draw. If you fill it, you'll see what it's going to look like when you fill it in with whatever pen you choose, like this. You can even take the line out. We want to just see what the color would look like that. Because this is not a single line, you will have this sort of hollow look. So in order to fill that, you're going to have to make sure that you use the fill function, and you'll see that also when you take it to your machine. But at the moment, we're just using the fill option here that we have. If you were to not use that, then as you can see, it would merely outline the word or the font. So I'm going to use the fill. And I can combine fonts easily by bringing in another line of text. Now remember, when you hit enter at the end of this text function, so let's put birthday, and you hit enter, then it completes whatever the word you have in there. You can't do paragraphs. There is a way to do paragraphs, which I'll show you later, but as you can see, you only get a single line. So let's change this to a different font, and we can use the font selection here or here at the top of the mat. So let's try this, happy birthday. And I can change the size of this. I don't have to keep it proportional. I can make it whatever I like. I could have this now as my greeting. So I could perhaps cut that out in, let's make a different color here. I could cut that out onto a sticker, or I might bring in another shape, like this, for example, which I could then cut that out. Or if I wanted that in my insert, what I would do is bring in a square for this. And if this were a 5x7 card, for example, and my insert is going to be just under the 5x7, so 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. Then I can resize this if I like. Let's go ahead and do that. And then I can place it wherever I want inside of my insert. I'll just move this down a little bit. I'm going to group that. And then I'm going to center it where I want it. I might want it right in the very middle of this insert, like so. As I said, you can put it wherever you like. If you don't want it there, you want it down here, you can easily move it. As I said, this will be in draw, so you want to go make sure that it is draw for both of these. Since I had already grouped them, and if I want to have them drawn individually, then I would go back and ungroup this before I sent it over to the machine. It's already ungrouped, I'm sorry. So I would then have a pin. I could put a pink pin in, and then I could put a purple pin in and do the birthday. So I only bring on one at a time, and then this is cut as well. So, and I would always do the drawing first and then do the cutting at the end. So let's look at another combination. Let's take something like bloom where you, and I'm going to change that to a different font. Let's see, we've got this baby darling. I could try loving, that's another. I think I'll go back to baby darling. I can actually just duplicate that if I want to be quicker about it, and then I can just double click inside and highlight the letters and change the text to are planted. I can position that where I want. See, maybe something more on in a block, like so. And again, we want to be sure this is a drawing shape. Same with this one. If we color that in, we have another sentiment, which we could put on the front of the card, insert, inside of an album, a journal, a box, whatever you like. So if you want to change how this is spaced, you can go to your character spacing here, or you can use your character spacing here as well, and you can change the spacing of the letters. Bring these in even closer in. And you can also weld them if you need to. So if I wanted to change this, I could overlap these letters and weld them. Like so. That will still be a draw file. So you can just have lots and lots of fun experimenting with making your own sentiments. Now, if you wanted to make a paragraph, how you would need to do that is let's bring in some more text, and we'll go back to happy birthday. I'm going to change that to let's see, maybe I'm going to change that to, let's try this. Happy birthday. And that could be your first line. Duplicate it. And then we can change the text here to you. And then again, happy birthday. That could be your paragraph. So all you need to do is just to highlight it, go to your edit and alignment function, and then line it up how you would like. So if you want it lined up centrally, you could do that, or you could have it to the left, you could have it to the right, however you like. We just want this to the left, and to be sure that this is distributed evenly, then go down to distribute objects and click on the vertical, and that is going to distribute it exactly. If you want to have even more control over the spacing, you can use your distribute space here. So if you wanted it to be further apart, you could bring it in. That's a bit too much. And there you would have your paragraph. And again, be sure that you change it from cut to draw. So you could have one pen for the first line, you could have another color for the second, and then another for the third. And there you have beginnings, at least, of a paragraph. So it's that easy to do. Now, if you wanted to have this happy birthday, I'm just going to get rid of this. Going vertically down the page rather than down across like so, what you can do is go to your edit function and divide your letters. As you see, these are being broken up into individual letters. If you have something like this, where your letter is made up of two shapes, be sure that you group those together. And then you can do just like you did with the paragraph. Move your letters into position how you would like them. So I could do something like this, maybe. So I would highlight these and then align them. They said you could align them essentially, left or the right, and then distribute them. And then if you want to have these all in the same pen color, just group those together, and you have something that looks like this. Another idea is to fit your text around a shape. So let me zoom out a little bit. I'm going to bring a shape in. Let's see, let's try. I'm going to try this one and see what this would look like. To add some text into this shape. I'm just going to put "gut well soon." I'll change that font to something else. Like that. And then I'm going to just reduce this in size. So that I can add it to this shape. So what I do now is highlight both of those, go to edit, and under process overlap, where you see text, that will fit it to the path of the shape. So I'm going to do that. As you can see, it's placed it on that shape. And in this case, it's placed it at the left here, as you can see. If you click on these tools here, that's to the left. Here it's centered, and you can tell this little crosshair here is at the center of this text. If you have it at the right, then it's going to be here. And of course, you can always distribute it and make it go all the way around. I'm going to go back and put it on the left. And then what I can do is grab this crosshair and I can begin to move this where I want. And I can play with the spacing. And as you'll see, that shape that we brought on has now changed to a turquoise line. Let me just get this. Something more pleasing. Okay, I'm going to go with that. That I'm happy with that is. All I have to do now is go to convert to shapes. This is going to keep this shape that you see here. Oops, back. And it will remove the shape that we fit it to. So convert to shapes, and you'll see that that is completely gone. Now I can add other text in here if I want. I could add another shape maybe. And maybe here I would like to say my friend. I can change the font. To highlight it. Fit the text to the path. I can change the direction of the text. I can align it to the bottom of the shape to the middle so that it intersects here, or of course to the top. Then I can move this wherever I like. I can rotate it. Place it where I want. Convert it, and I have a new sentiment. So what I could do is maybe I would put that onto a sticker, or I might just cut it out with something like this so that I could have that printed onto there. Okay. And this is to be drawn, so you need to change it to draw. This will still be cut, and we can align it so we can go ahead and change that. Send that to the back. We work with this. There we are. So you have lots of control over how you would like your text to look. If you wanted to, you could even mingle the fonts. And I'm not sure what I mean by that. Go back to happy. What I would do is, if I, instead of having it all in the same font, I could mix it up. Change this to P. I'm just changing these sort of willy-nilly, just to show you. That to a Y. So we have a mixture of fonts that we can then go to Edit and distribute them horizontally, or I can use this function to 0, or I can move them wherever I like, just by clicking and moving my mouse. So you could mix up the fonts as well. If you want to change any of this, you could divide it and then reshape it how you like, using those grab handles. But it's no longer text at this point. Once you've used one of the editing functions like this, it's now a shape. But you could make your own shapes if you so desired. And again, being sure to change that to a draw function before sending it to the machine. So those are just a few ideas of working with a variety of fonts and making them a little more dynamic for your greetings or your sentiments or your toppers, whatever you're going to use them for. And especially in this case, when you want to draw them, because the advantage with the drawing is that you can work with fonts that perhaps would not cut as well as they will draw, especially when it comes to things like single line fonts. So I hope you enjoyed this and that you learned something and that you'll take away a little bit of this knowledge and have a play yourself and see what varieties you can come up with when it comes to personalizing your own projects. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I do appreciate it very much indeed. And if you aren't already subscribed, please consider doing so today. Until we meet again, please stay safe and crafty hugs. Bye.